Before we begin, I want to set a quick frame for how to listen to this conversation. What I'm about to share is intended for a thoughtful, professional audience. This is not marketing, it's not recruiting copy, and it's not designed for soundbites or screenshots. The insights here are confidential, context-driven, and meant to be discussed responsibly. My name is Steve Koleno, and what I want to walk through today is a clear-eyed look at the economics behind brokerage models, separate from hype, headlines, or ideology. The goal isn't to defend a model or dismiss another. It's to understand where real financial power still exists in this industry and why. This is Confidential Remarks. As we head into the next chapter of residential real estate, it's clear that we're operating in a period of foundational change. Technology, AI, leadership evolution, regulatory pressure, and new business models are all reshaping how brokerages operate. This environment is forcing leaders and agents alike to re-examine assumptions that once felt permanent. The key question is no longer whether change is happening, but how each model actually performs under these new conditions. For decades, the traditional brokerage model was the undisputed standard. Agents joined firms, commissions were split, and scale followed. But when we analyze the largest brokerages in the country, we see a clear and measurable shift. Traditional firms no longer dominate in sheer numbers the way they once did. New models have entered the market, competed aggressively, and taken meaningful share. That erosion is real, visible, and important to acknowledge. When we look at the top 100 brokerages in the US, the shift becomes undeniable. In 2018, 72 of the top 100 firms operated under the traditional model. By 2025, that number dropped to 53. That's a decline of more than 25% in just 7 years. On the surface, that statistic alone might suggest a weakening model. But prevalence only tells us who shows up. It doesn't tell us who actually performs. Counting firms gives us a snapshot of market share, but it doesn't tell us much about economic strength. To understand which models truly perform, we have to look beneath prevalence and examine financial productivity, especially on a per-agent basis. This is the difference between visibility and value, and it's where the conversation often changes. One of the most important drivers of brokerage revenue is the average price point of the homes being sold. Among the nation's largest brokerages, traditional firms operate at a significantly higher average transaction value, nearly $892,000, the highest of any model. Capped, fee-based, and business generation models operate at meaningfully lower price points. This single factor creates a powerful revenue engine that compounds across every agent and every transaction. When you combine higher price points with transaction volume, the financial impact becomes clear. Traditional brokerages generate more gross revenue per agent than competing models. More importantly, their agents also take home more gross commission income. While alternative models may offer appealing structures, the data shows that traditional agents, on average, are still earning more per year. Revenue scale benefits both the company and the individual agent. When we compare brokerage models side by side, a clear pattern emerges. Traditional firms may be fewer in number, but they lead in average price point, brokerage revenue per agent, and agent take-home income. Capped and fee-based models have grown in prevalence, but they have not surpassed traditional firms in economic output. This distinction is critical for agents making long-term career decisions. Now, it's important to be honest about the full picture. Traditional brokerages often carry higher operating expenses. Offices, services, marketing, and support infrastructure cost money. As a result, profitability margins across models may be closer than gross commission income alone suggests. But higher expenses don't negate higher earning potential. They explain where the investment is being made. The modern brokerage landscape is defined by two truths. First, Traditional firms are no longer the most prevalent model by sheer count. Second, their economic strength remains intact. High price points continue to fuel superior per agent revenue for both brokerages and agents. This isn't a story of collapse, it's a story of concentration. As the industry evolves, agents and leaders must look beyond surface level trends. Prevalence tells us what's popular. Financial productivity tells us what's powerful. The resilience of the traditional model reminds us that fewer firms can still generate outsized economic impact. The future of brokerage isn't about choosing what's newest. It's about choosing what performs. This analysis is based on an excerpt from the 2026 Swanepoel Trends Report, with research conducted by T360 and published by Real Estate News. It reflects performance data from the top 100 brokerages in the country. I'll close where I began. The insights shared here are intended for informed discussion, not public distribution. They're meant to guide better decisions, not louder conversations. I appreciate the discretion and professionalism of this audience. This has been Confidential Remarks.